Okay, welcome back everybody to Big Leprechaun Bowling. We are continuing with this series, the Bowling for Dummies book. Today we are on chapter 4, which is buying your own your own ball, shoes, and accessories. Basically, this chapter is going to talk about scoping out what you need to be able to become a bowler, like the right shoes that are going to work for you, the right ball, and the type of accessories you're going to be able to use. One of the things that it's saying is what to know before you buy a ball. Buy a ball. Now, before you buy a ball, I'm going to elaborate more on this. What they can. You want to know what the specs are. You want to know if the ball's going to work for you. Work for you. And when I mean by specs, you want to know like the RG, the differential, what the core is, what the cover stock is, all that. But like it says here after that, it says a bowling ball's makeup. It talks about the weight block, the core, and the cover stock, and stuff like that. And here it has your cover cover stock options. It says plastic, urethane, and reactive resin. So when I started bowling, my first ball was a plastic ball. It was a really good ball. I liked it. Then I moved on to a urethane bowling ball. Shot my first 600 series with a urethane. Shot my first 300 with a urethane ball. And all that. And then reactive resin, which is what most people use nowadays. I shot my first 700 with that. I've been shooting 300s and all that. You saw my short. I shot my 16 300 last week with a reactive resin. And most people throw either urethane or reactive resin. Nowadays, most people that are starting out are throwing a plastic ball. But most of us that are like higher up in the sport, we use a plastic ball for like our spread shots. After all that, in here, it gives a description of like each cover stock, which I can tell you, plastic will be more shiny. The ball goes straight, won't hook as much, won't really hook at all unless you want to make it hook. Urethane nowadays, urethane will hook off your hand to where as soon as you let go of it, it's going to start hooking the lane. Um, in reactive resin, there's all different types. There's particle reactive. There's solid reactive. There's uh, pearl reactive, and each one will help you on the lanes depending on what condition you're on. After all that, it says choosing a custom drilled bowling ball. See, the key thing is when you're buying a bowling ball, you shouldn't be a budget buster. Which is usually what we tell people. Like if they're starting out, they ask us what's the cheapest ball and stuff like that. And we also explain to them like how there's higher up ones, lower end ones, and all that. And also, it says knowing where to shop, which basically it's saying about know know where your pro shop is, know who sells bowling balls, all the accessories, the shoes, and stuff like that. Know where one is close to you and stuff like that, so you don't have to travel a far distance to go and get your stuff. Next is saying pick the perfect weight. Basically, elaborate on that is you want to buy one ball you want to buy a weight that fits you to where your arm's not getting tired, you don't cause injury on yourself, all that. I do recommend that most people will choose a 16 pounder because they think that'll help them. The recommended weight for most adult men, it would be like a 14, 15 area. Most adult women, some women can throw the 15 pounders, but for like someone we're looking at a range from like 12 to 15. Youth bowlers, there is some youth bowlers that can throw 15. Just starting out, I would recommend either like a 8 or like a 10, 8 or 10 pound ball. Um, for any youth bowler when starting out, and then work their way up in weight. Also, after all that, it says buying a ball that's made to hook or go straight. And what it means by that is you want to make sure that whatever your level of bowling is, you buy the right ball for that level. You don't you don't want to be a person starting out and buying a ball that hooks it, that basically hooks the whole lane. You want to be a person starting out to where you can throw a straight ball and then eventually gradually learn how to hook it. Next thing is getting your grip, to where that section talks about your conventional bowling and your fingertip grip bowling, to where with conventional, your finger is usually into the second knuckle in the bowling ball. Fingertip is talking about to where your fingers into about the first knuckle or a little bit past. And it has drilling the ball for a perfect fit. So with that, it's telling you to you want to make sure your bowling ball is drilled to fit your hand font perfect and good and really good. That way you don't injure your hand or your fingers. You don't want to have it to where back in the day they had it to where they would always stretch your fingers for when you bowled, so that way your palm was sitting right on the ball so your ball could react more. Well, nowadays you don't have to do that. You don't have to stretch your fingers because you'll develop arthritis in the fingers later on in life or something like that. To where nowadays you don't have to. You can have a nice, relaxed fit to where the ball comes off your hand. The ball just doesn't work for you. You don't have to force the ball like they had to back in the day. This is saying next thing after that it says adding a bag to store your stuff. So basically, what that means by that is the bowling bags out there nowadays they go from a single ball bag all the way up to a 6 ball bag. Your single ball bags at pro shops may be like from $20 to $50, maybe even higher. You have your 2 ball bags, which range from $80 up to 120. Then you have your 3 ball bags or your triple ball totes, tournament totes, to which most of your people use nowadays. That ranges from 150 up to like 220 area. And then any bag above that is about 230 up to about 450, 500. So next thing is maintaining and storing your bowling ball. It's saying if you haven't spent hard-earned cash for a custom drilled ball, you should keep your investment in tip-top condition. This means cleaning and storing your ball properly to protect it from the outside dirt and grime, damage from oil buildup, and other things that could harm it. And it goes on about that a little bit. The thing after that is keeping your bowling ball clean and polished. It's interesting. This section here talks about that. Um, it has a tip in here. It says rubbing alcohol and the old standby soap and water make good cleansers for plastic bowling balls. Just be careful not to get liquid in the holes and don't soak the ball. I'm gonna have to remember that. But in this section here, it's actually talking about where you can buy like stuff or go online. It actually has a website bowlersparadise.com in here for like your towels, cleaners, and stuff like that. Now with like the cleaners and polishes, I'm part of CTD Bowling, so I use their cleaners and their polishes. The one cleaner that's on the market now that's popular with most people is Incredible Clean. Smells like bubblegum. Best thing ever. It cleans my stuff, it restores it, gets the grime and stuff off of it. It comes with those towels. It comes with a sponge, they say it looks like a Mr. Clean magic eraser is what it looks like. It gets all the stuff off your bowling ball and stuff like that. It says here letting a machine do the work. Which means by that is back in the day when I was a kid at our center, we had what they called luster kings. You stuck your ball in, you paid so much, it did wherever much you paid, it did that process of cleaning your bowling ball if it was a plastic or urethane. Nowadays they have what they call Storm Bowling Products makes it. It's called Storm Surface Factory. Most pro shops have it. Stick your ball in, pay so much, you can clean it, sand it, polish it for you, whichever you need done. Or most people do prefer to do all that by hand. After all that, it says dealing with defects and what it means with dealing with the defects and stuff like that. If you have a ball get marked or something at the bowling center, make sure you go to their pro shop and let them know that the ball got marked because most places will fix that for you. Like I know my center, if something happens at my center that if you go and your ball gets nicked, you just take it. We'll just tell you if you want to leave it here. Our pro shop guy can fix it. He does a really good job. It says is where and where not to store your bowling ball. Okay, this is where I have mixed opinions about that. They tell you don't leave your stuff in your car all year round because of how hot it can get in the summer, how cold it gets in the winter. They tell you that can cause your stuff to crack. Now, I've done that for years. My stuff's been in the bowling bags in my car, and nothing has ever cracked. So the next thing is deciding when to upgrade or add another ball. So most people, after they're done starting out having a plastic ball, they want to move up to something that they want to learn how to hook, stuff like that. Learning how to hook the ball will improve your average a lot. Next thing is selecting the right accessories for your feet, buying your own bowling, and that goes on a little description of that. And it says buying your own bowling shoes. So with most people, I do recommend that if you're going to come into the center after a long time, like you come in one time, you like it, you want to continue to come in, we do. I suggest, and most people suggest that you go to your pro shop and buy your own shoes. It's going to save you money in the long run. So I do recommend doing that. And make sure you find ones that are comfortable to you on your feet. Don't go buy an expensive pair of bowling shoes if they're going to be uncomfortable and stuff like that. And after all that, it says outfitting your shoes. So they have what is like so sorry for the pause. They have what they call no wet foots or booties that go on your slide shoe, or you can have them on both your shoes, so that way you're able to walk around without anything ruining the bottom of your shoes, and also you'll be able to walk outside with them on. After that, and it also has in your aids this smooth sliding. So we have people that stick. Back in the day, they did allow you to use Easy Slide on your bowling shoe. Until through the years, they realized that's messing stuff up. You can't do that anymore. So now it's illegal to during league in anywhere in anything, and even open bowling. I don't recommend it to put Easy Slide on your bowling shoe. It is illegal. I can't emphasize that enough. It can ruin the approach. It can mess up people bowling that you're bowling against. Stuff like that. So do not put it on there. Baby powder also. They have made baby powder illegal to put on your bowling shoes. You can use Easy Slide and baby powder for your hand, but you cannot use it on your bowling shoes. Next thing is get wise and accessorize. Let's talk about hand gear. Goes on a little bit there. Then it talks about supporting your wrist with a bowling glove. So with that, what it means by that, like if you have a hard time like holding, like if you're, I don't want to word this, like if you have carpal tunnel or something, I recommend wearing a wrist brace so it doesn't hurt when you bowl. That's really the only opinion I can give on the wrist glove. Next is avoiding slip ups with gripping aids. So there's what they have sports rosin. There's puff balls or like anything to keep your hand dry or to give you more grip. Your bowling ball, they have what they call a what is it? Non-slip grip cream, which is like a little jar. And it's got what's called like adhesive in it, but it's not. It's on your fingers. It is a little bit sticky, but it's to help you stay in the ball and stuff like that. I recommend just putting it on your fingertips, not your thumb. Also, it's been out for years. They do have bowling tape that you can put in your thumb hole so you have grip in your thumb and stuff like that. And that's it for chapter 4. And that was the end of part 1 of the book, The Opening Frame. Uh, we'll next week next week we'll have the start of part 2, Body Basics, Throwing Yourself into the Game, which will have chapter 5, Finding Your Form and Style, which we'll go through that chapter, one headline title of the subject in that chapter at a time. So I will see you all next week. Don't forget to, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends about me. Make sure if you have anybody that's interested in bowling, to watch this series as it goes on and as I post the videos. And I will see you all next week.